22 January 1965. Dearest Suzie, I'm sorry I waited so long to write, but I kept thinking I would get a letter from you. Either our mail is not coming through fast enough, or you aren't writing enough. I haven't heard from you since Sunday, and here it is, Friday. Needless to say, my morale is very low. Mail has already come in today, and no letters, so I can't even look forward to mail till Sunday again. Things are the same over here. We stay pretty busy flying. It is hotter than blazes already, and they say that hot season hasn't even started yet. Well, in 4 days, we will have 1/3 of our time over with. It seems like a lifetime already, though. Yesterday, Cosumano tore a helicopter up. He lost a tail rotor, and the thing flipped over in the water in a pond right off the end of our runway. He was real lucky that he wasn't killed. The tail rotor that came off hit Lieutenant McConnell's ship and put 2 big holes in it. He was lucky, too, that thing didn't hit him. Anyway, we do have a little excitement once in a while. Also, yesterday we had 2 gunships shot down by the VC. They burned one of them. Nobody was hurt, but they sure had us worried for a while. I love you all and miss you more than ever. I can hardly wait for these next 8 months to go by. Kiss the boys for me. All my love. Bill. Over the next few episodes, I will be presenting a piece of creative nonfiction I wrote for a class in my PhD program. As I've explained before, COVID meant that there wasn't much of a chance to go outside and do formal research for my dissertation, and therefore I had to find other things to write about. This was one of them. This will be presented over the span of a few episodes, with a break in the middle, because it's pretty long compared to what I usually share. Hopefully, you will be able to keep up with things. There will be a bit of information from before repeated, but let's just say that it's for the people who haven't been keeping up with every episode. Also, just so you know, this was written about 3 years ago. Things have certainly changed a lot since then. With that said, I'd like to present Finding My Grief, Part 1. It was a late morning, but I was still exhausted. Sleeping on the tiny, lumpy couch did not provide me with any sort of rest. Going to bed at 4 a.m. the night before certainly didn't help either. The many heavy footsteps in the tiny trailer made it nearly impossible for me to obtain any sort of deep sleep. When I awoke, I mindlessly flipped on the TV, hoping to distract myself. Some random movie started, one I had never seen before. The opening credits focused on a truck driving down a lonesome road. Johnny Paycheck was blaring from the lead's speakers, and he sang, "Well, I say, friend, don't take her, she's all I've got. Please don't take her love away from me." The sink turned on in the kitchen behind me. I quickly turned around to find Meemaw standing there. She was sluggish, and obviously hadn't gotten any sleep either. Her eyes were bloodshot, but she didn't look like she had cried in a few hours, which I figured was a good thing. I noticed she was watching the movie as well. She listened to the music too. Oh no, I said to myself, turn off the TV, dude. I frantically started pulling up the covers around me, looking for the remote to stop the song from coming from the speakers, but it was too late. Meemaw gave me a fake smile. "Morning, Al," she said, sipping on her coffee. "Hope you slept all right." She turned to walk back to her room and began singing to herself, seemingly clinging to every word, almost like she had heard the old song for the first time. "I'm begging you, friend. Don't take him. He's all I've got. He's everything in life I'll ever need." Great, I said to myself. What did I just do? Merely a day before I was in school, completely oblivious to what was to come. A text came in randomly from my mom saying, "Call me, this is serious," or something like that. At first, I thought it was about Penelope. My family got her when I was 4, and we knew that she was slowing down. Sluggishness was typically a good sign that a Labrador was nearing its end. I called during my first free moment of the day. It wasn't Penelope. It was Popi. I was somehow relieved that the bad news wasn't about the dog. My grandfather had finally passed, which was no surprise. We all knew it was coming for some time. Cycling in and out of the hospital, his respiratory problems had been getting worse than ever due to his COPD and asthma. The multiple packs of cigarettes a day probably didn't help much either. Mom broke the news through sobs and uncontrolled breaths. I did not cry. I was simply angry. What else could I be? Years of begging that he care for himself had only resulted in his apathy to life, even though his doctor told him he could live up to 5 years longer if he quit smoking. Popi told us of their conversation through thick, sour smoke that seemingly always hung around the air in his orbit. The 5 extra years didn't matter to him. The extra time would have meant my high school graduation, a handful of other graduations, meeting great-grandchildren, and every holiday you could imagine being spent with his big, oftentimes unhappy family. Sitting on the porch and sucking in tar took priority, or at least that's how I viewed it. Who could really blame me for my anger? I also felt annoyed. It was the day of my thespian induction ceremony. Finally, I was going to light the candle and join the club I worked so hard to get into. Suddenly, I wouldn't even get the chance to really celebrate, seeing as how immediately after the ceremony, we'd have to load up the car and drive 5 hours straight to Georgia. I wanted to have fun with my friends. Maybe by going to Steak and Shake and getting something sweet to celebrate. I did not want to sit in a car for so long on such short notice. When everyone found out that my brother and I would not be attending dinner, their dispositions immediately changed. What was supposed to be a carefree night of celebration mutated into expressions of sympathy and support. People were caring and understanding, but I was not looking for those things. I was looking to be angry and annoyed. As a kid, my grandfather was the coolest person I knew. He was a war hero and a fisherman and someone so cool that he didn't even have to speak. When he entered a room, you knew. Why didn't he want to spend more time with me? Why would he put us all through this? Why would he leave Meemaw so alone? She deserved only happiness. The photo I chose for today shows a Huey helicopter as a part of the 114th Aviation's Cobra Division, hovering lightly over the ground. This is certainly not Cosimono or Lieutenant McConnell. I don't actually have any more photos of wrecked helicopters besides the one I shared at the beginning of the show, which might actually be Cosimono's. Regardless, I really like this photo. This helicopter possesses rockets on the side of it. This is almost certainly an assault ship. I'm Alex Lowie, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.